All right, everyone, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Let's do it. Hello, everyone, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. The Black Rifle is kicking in. Oh, I love my Black Rifle coffee. All right, Giant fans, what are we going to talk about today? I want to talk about, well, we do now have a 17-game season, which was voted on, and the Giants will be playing Miami. All right, you know what? It doesn't really change my opinion on the season, an extra game, but it's not an easy matchup at this point in time. It will be nice to see Patrick Graham go against Brian Flores, so it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. But I want to talk about the Giants, and I'm going to offend some people's delicate sensibilities, so I'm going to give some people a moment to stop watching, because I want to talk about the 3 potential issues that the Giants could have in the 2021 season. So I'm just going to wait a minute until anyone that doesn't want to watch can drop off, because I know a lot of people are sensitive, so we're just going to wait. Okay, I think everyone that's probably needed to drop off has done so already. The Giants have had a good offseason in regards to free agents, but there are potential problems that still linger with this team. Now, of course, not all needs can be addressed during free agency. Not all needs can be addressed during the draft. Some of the players that we sign in free agency aren't even going to make the team. Some are going to be succumb to injury or something else, but you know what? There are, in my mind, 3 potential Achilles heels for this team. Now, I know you can only have 2 Achilles heels. Can't even talk today. But there are 3 issues that could, I would say in some regards, potentially derail the Giants season. Issue number 1, of course, is going to be the offensive line. Okay, when you're relying on a line of Andrew Thomas, Will Hernandez, Nick Gates, Zach Fulton, Matt from Connecticut, you still have Jonathan Harrison, Shane Lemieux, what's his name? Jackson Barton, Kenny Wiggins, I still think is on the team. I don't know if Kenny Wiggins is still on the team. Spencer Pulley, and of course our old buddy, Nate Solder. That could potentially be a glaring issue. Now, I've talked in the past about putting multiple wide receiver sets on the field to help alleviate the opportunity for a defense to put 8 in the box and rush the Giants. I've talked about that. But let's just break down the line quickly. Andrew Thomas, we hope the ankle injury, he comes back from that. We hope that he progresses and maturates into a second season. But, again, I'm not saying that's a big question mark at left tackle, but to me it is a question mark. Left guard, Will Hernandez and Shane Lemieux. Will Hernandez, outside of his rookie season, has regressed exponentially over the last 3 seasons. This is a make or break year for Will. He had to deal with COVID last year, so but he did not play well or efficiently when he was in there. And Shane Lemieux is a project. Shane Lemieux is a good road paver, but he has numerous deficiencies when it comes to pass blocking. Now, the center position, I wasn't really going to consider a question mark because I figured Nick Gates might man that position, give him a second year. But then they signed Jonathan Harrison. I potentially think we may have to move Nick Gates into a guard position. So that could potentially open up an issue with the center position. I think it would be smart to keep Gates where he's at and help him grow into the role that that we've thought he would be, the alpha male. I thought I was the alpha male. Now I have to compete against Nick Gates. I don't have that long flowing hair. I have the short crop top, but you know what? I could be the alpha male. But I think you need to keep Nick Gates at center. I do. But then you get into the right guard position. Oh my God. So we're going to rely on Zach Fulton. The nicest thing that they could say about Zach Fulton in Texas or in Houston, well, Houston is in Texas, was the fact that he was a horrid run blocker and a terrible pass blocker. It almost makes you miss Cam Fleming. And I do say almost makes you miss Cam Fleming. I like Zach Fulton now because he's not Cam Fleming. And then really, what do you have behind him at the right guard? Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing of statured. And then you get into the right tackle position where you're going to hope it's either going to be Matt from Connecticut or Nate Solder. I am not filled with confidence with Nate Solder manning that right tackle position. And I think the small amounts of times that we have seen our old buddy Matt play, he played effectively at times, but he also looked bad at times as well. So if you are adding all these weapons with Darius Slayton and Old Kenny and John Ross and Sterling Shepard and Dante Pettis and our old buddy Kyle Rudolph and Evan Ingram and Saquon Barkley, that's great. But if you can't block, that could be a problem. We could have some issues if we can't block for Daniel Jones and keep the poor kid upright. Like I said, I'm not a Daniel Jones fan, but I don't want to get him killed because I don't want to see Mike Glennon. I've seen Mike Glennon. I saw him start in Tampa. I don't want to see him. I've seen him play in wherever else he played, in Chicago and Jacksonville. I saw him in Jacksonville. Oh Lord, he was horrid in Jacksonville. But that can potentially be an issue if we cannot block for Daniel Jones or open up effective holes from Saquon Barkley, and we are not allowing the receivers time to get open, especially if we're going to try to play with a more of a Air Coryell motion offense, we could potentially be in a lot of trouble. Trouble number 2 that may occur with the Giants is going to be the linebacking core. Outside of Blake Martinez, everything's a question mark. Sure, you have Ryan Anderson, who hasn't really underperformed in Washington. You got O'Shane Ximines coming off an injury, who's also going to be filling out at defensive end. You have Cam Brown and Carter Coughlin, 2 second-year players that are late-round draft choices. And I do like Carter Coughlin. I do think his speed has translated well into the NFL, but I don't know how he's going to hold up for 16 games. The same with Cam Brown. Then you got Blake Martinez in the middle. Tay Crowder backing him up. I'm not saying the jury's out on Tay, but like I said, we have to see what we have with him in his second year. I like the Reggie Ragland picked up, but the only problem is Reggie can't cover. Reggie can't cover a bed with a blanket, but he's an excellent run stopper. Then you got Lorenzo Carter, of course, coming off the injury. Devontae Downs, everyone's darling of training camp. Devontae Downs, I said at the moment that they said he was going to be the starting linebacker, I was like, he's not a starting linebacker. I said it in multiple videos. He proved that. He's a good backup, but I don't want to rely on him. Same with TJ Brunson. We don't know what we have with TJ. And then, of course, they signed the kid out of Minnesota, and he potentially could be, an end or a linebacker or play with this, But I too many questions outside of Blake Martinez. And the fact that we do not have anyone at the moment that can offer a consistent pass rush, that's a little frightening. You're going to have to hope the secondary plays lockdown. And I think the secondary has that capability to lock people down. I do. I think they can be, they can be one of those secondaries that, if healthy, Adoree Jackson and James Bradbury remind me of Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes back at the old Raider days. And I went old school with that one. I'll let people look that one up. But without the linebacking core, we need to address that issue in the draft. And we need to address that issue I think we need to address that issue early in the draft. I'm not as concerned with not having a dominant pass rusher, but I am more concerned with the fact that Danny Shelton's going to come in and he's going to rotate with Austin Johnson. I think that would be a good rotation, but Danny Shelton isn't a player that he even was 2 years ago. I've said we spoke about it before that the Bible Pro Football Focus said that he actually played against the pass rush better. He played the pass rush better than he did to run last year. And we know what we're going to get from Dexter. So you have to hope that Leonard, goes back into the well and finds another 11.5 sack season, or there could be some issues. And potential Achilles heel number 3 is going to be injuries. And that you, of course, can say for every single team. But for the Giants, it's ever more so prevalent. You have a star running back coming off an ACL, who missed games his second season as well. You have a quarterback who has missed games each of his first 2 seasons. You have Kyle Rudolph, who is coming off potentially a foot issue that may need surgery, may not need surgery, but he does have an injury. You have Andrew Thomas, who's also coming off an ankle. You have your big acquisition, Kenny, who had a hip problem and missed most of last season along with a hamstring. And then you look on the defense, your other big signing, Adoree Jackson's coming off an ACL. You have Lorenzo Carter, who you hope can come back from the Achilles. You have a lot of injuries right now, but not injuries, but you have a lot of players who are coming back from some type of injury. Some more major, some not as major. But there is, and even Danny Shelton's coming back. I think he missed 5 games last year at the end of the season with an injury. And then you're gonna rely on. Hopefully, you're not relying on John Ross III. John Ross III is the only guy I knew who got hurt at the combine, then asked to be traded, and then got hurt again. So potentially, we have to watch out for the injury bug. It's going to be interesting to see how the maestro, Joe Judge, conducts the orchestra of injuries throughout training camp. I'm curious to see how it's going to work out. And like I said, these are only potential problems that could happen for the Giants. Potential Achilles heel. Tomorrow we're going to do a video of all the things that could go, the 3 things that could go incredibly right for the Giants in 2022. So this is part 1 of part 2. And hopefully the people that just tuned out for part, hold on, let's let the people who tuned out come back in. All right, that should have been enough time for the people that were too sensitive to listen, that came back in. They'll see and listen to us again. But we'll do another video tomorrow, which will be part 2, the 3 things that can go incredibly right for the New York Giants. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe. If you ring that bell, you know what it means. That'd be awesome.